Hey, hello. Welcome to How to Have Your Best Financial Year Yet. So, I'm a mom and a woman just like you, juggling a million roles, searching for peace, purpose, and prosperity. And I found something that changed everything. I know what it's like to feel like you're always giving, but never quite getting ahead. That stops today. By the end of this session, you'll learn the six core shifts that helped me go from financial frustration to freedom and how you can apply them right now. You'll learn about my course, Faith and Finance Breakthrough Program, how to go from overwhelmed to overflowing, and how everyday people can finally win with money. Get help implementing the 6 ways to have your financial year yet. So during today's web class, you're going to learn how to break from limiting beliefs by identifying and replace negative thought patterns with empowering growth-oriented habits. Boost your confidence by developing a resilient mindset that helps you face life's challenges with clarity and calm. Ease financial stress by gaining practical strategies to relieve money worries and make smarter, more confident financial decisions. And then activate lasting change. You're going to learn how to apply easy to implement tools and exercises that shift your focus from overwhelm to opportunity. So who is this for? This isn't for people just looking for budgeting tips. It's for women who want to shift from surviving to thriving by changing their thinking habits and energy around money. Have you ever felt stuck in a financial stress or scarcity? And you can shake your head yes or put a thumbs up, whichever. Whatever.
For sure.
Have you ever felt stuck thinking you can't have joy if you don't have money to pay your bills?
Oh my gosh, I'm right there right now, Lena.
Are you ready to rewrite your limiting beliefs?
Yes.
And are you ready to thrive in this world that is not?
Yeah, let's do it.
I should have been pushing those.
That's okay.
I'm still learning about my webinar. um, okay, so when you stay until the end, I am going to offer the 19 Rules of Prosperity PDF from
Hey, it's Tim McCormichael, and I'm
Leslie.
here with Diane and
Can you
Nightingale.
see
And
that?
what you are about to watch is the official version of The Strangest Secret.
Let me pause that real quick. And the other thing that you're going to receive is this fascinating video that was about Earl Nightingale and the secrets to success. I'm not going to have you watch that whole thing, but or even part of it, but it's like a 36-minute video about how to the key to success and the key to failure. And we become what we think. And this is by Earl Nightingale. Okay, so why I'm qualified to teach this. So I believe, so my first belief used to be I have to hustle to earn more. Have you ever felt that way?
Yeah, I thankfully I've shifted that mindset, but my husband is there. He's like, if I work more hours, I'll get more money. And I'm very much the I want to do the work once and get paid for that over and over again.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to learn how to reframe that thought to the right element creates more than hustle ever will. My second belief was if I focus on me, I'm being selfish. Have you ever felt that way before?
Yes.
Okay. And we're going to reframe that and to say when you're full, your whole family thrives. And then my third belief was I don't have enough time or money. Have you ever thought of that? There's not
Yes.
enough time and there's not enough money.
The two
Okay.
biggest issues I feel right now.
Okay. And we're going to reframe that to I believe we have enough time for all that we want and need. We have enough time and money for all that we want and need. We just need to decide that we do. You decide what you want to have enough time and money for. And we're going to talk more about that here in a little bit. So imagine, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine waking up with complete peace around money. There's no stress, there's no guilt, just the confidence that you're supported, aligned, and creating the kind of financial freedom that blesses not just you, but your entire family. Can you imagine having complete peace around money?
Yeah, it feels awesome.
Okay, perfect. Wouldn't that be so great to have that complete peace around money? Well, we're going to teach you how to do that. How to transform your finances with faith without feeling shame or scarcity. This webinar could help you. And are you excited to transform your finances? Give me a thumbs up if you're excited to transform your finances.
I'm so excited.
Okay, perfect. Hi, Linda. So you've done it all for everyone else. Now let's make this year about your financial breakthrough. I never believed that I deserved to get the big bucks. I never believed I could make lots of money. I thought I had to have a side hustle just to make the ends meet. Have you ever felt that way?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Have you tried many things to try and make money? Have you done many things to try and make money?
Yes.
Yes.
So on this slide, you can see I've sold Pampered Chef. I've sold Mary Kay. I helped my friend start her business with home remedies, and that ended very badly. And I have tried to do Dave Ramsey. Like, I listened to him and he's like, you need to get all these extra, get these extra jobs to pay off all your debts and stuff. And that didn't work for me because, because it took money. Like, I had to pay money to make money with Mary Kay, and you have to pay money to make money. But like all the side hustles that I tried to do, I had to spend extra money, but I never had the mindset of, I just never believed I deserved to make the big bucks. And then I even tried Susie Orem. I don't know if you guys know her, but she actually gave me some really good, I got some really good information from her, but it still was not, I still had something missing. And so
Yeah.
you need to rewrite, I'm sorry, what?
Oh, sorry. No. Yes, I know Susie Orem. Yeah.
Okay. So we need to rewrite our financial story. A new way to approach money that aligns with your values, leans on divine guidance, and helps you receive abundantly by shifting your thoughts, not your schedule. These are my parents. My parents, they always believed they had enough for what they needed. Now, I grew up in I have 13 siblings in my family, and I'm number 12. And I came 10 years after the sibling that's just older than me. So, like, I grew up in a completely different scenario than my other siblings. My other siblings, they had to as a family, they went to go clean. My dad had his normal job. My mom would babysit. My, and all my siblings at night after the movie theater in the town that they lived in, after it was all done, they would either clean it late at night or they would clean it early in the morning before the kids went to school. So my parents always had a side hustle. Even when I was going to school, my dad was retired because they were older when they had me. My dad was retired, but he still had, he still had a job. He had his retirement, but he still had a job. And then my mom and dad still cleaned a dentist office there in town just to make ends meet. And they would save and save all year, and we would go on vacation. And I can remember asking my dad for certain things that I might have needed, like my basketball coach needed, or she wanted all the team to have the same matching shoes that were like $120. This was in the 90s. So $120 was a lot of money back then. And my parents didn't have that. But so my dad would always tell me, when my ship comes in, Lena, and I'm like, I'm tired of waiting for your ship, Dad. Your ship's not going to ever come in. Like, what are you talking about? And then he would just revert to, and he's like, I don't need a lot of money because I have all my wealth is in my family, which he really did believe that all his wealth was in the family. But he would always say, when my ship comes in. So think about that. Did your parents struggle with money?
Yes,
Did you have parents that struggled with money? Okay. So, by using rare faith, do you think you can change some of those programs?
absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So, do you seem to not have enough money no matter how hard you work?
Yeah.
So, I would get so excited about getting something, and my husband would say, we don't have enough money for that. Like, I hated telling my kids, we don't have enough money for that. Do you, so I thought I had to work harder or do more to get the money I needed. Do you want more financial freedom and abundance, but you don't know how to get there without burning out?
Yes. Yes, I want to know. Teach me all the things.
Okay, we're going to learn that. Have you felt shame around your past money decisions?
Yep.
Some of my past money decisions and I'll talk more a little bit about it later, but there are times I use the credit card and then be frustrated with myself for being tied to that bill.
Yep.
There was sometimes I didn't like that. I didn't trust myself with money, and I didn't think God could help me get the money I wanted or needed. How about, do you trust God?
I'm working on it.
So you don't know. So if you don't know if you can trust yourself or God, then this webinar is for you. So I felt like, am I freezing at all?
You did it once, like 30 seconds ago, but otherwise it's been good.
Could you still hear me, or?
You cut out for like a little bit, but I don't know if it still got recorded or if he froze on it, but
Okay. All right. I guess we'll see.
yeah.
So I felt like I was hitting a brick wall. I felt overwhelmed by the constant juggling act of managing family, work, and money. Like, no matter how hard I tried, I was always playing catch up. I had lingering guilt or regret over the past financial decisions, and a quiet voice questioning whether I'm truly capable of turning things around. I had a belief that I was somehow unworthy of wealth, success, or the peace that I longed for. And then came in Leslie Householder. I was introduced to her and her powerful trio of books that completely shifted the way that I think about faith, mindset, and money. Leslie was in such a bad way that she called the cops on a kid that broke her broom. She called them because she did not have enough money to replace the broom. And she was upset because she didn't have the money to get the broom, and the broom was broken. Have you ever felt that desperate before?
Probably. I don't know about calling the cops on a broken broom. Maybe not quite that low, but almost.
uh, how about you, Linda? Have you ever felt that desperate before?
Yes.
Yeah. So I can remember feeling desperate, but I can remember feeling desperate, but I don't know that I would have called the cops on a kid for breaking a broom, but I do feel like I've been desperate, like where's that money gonna come from? How am I gonna pay this bill? Those kind of things. So after learning about Leslie, I was able to discover the mindset and confidence I needed to create the financial freedom that I deserved. So I used to constantly feel like there was never enough money to cover everything, like scarcity was just a normal part of life. But then I learned I have enough money for all that I want and need. This picture is a picture of my son Jacob, me and my son Jacob. So 3 years ago, or was it 4? I don't know. I've lost track how long he's been gone now. He turned 8, he graduated in May, turned 18 in June, and we moved him to Kansas in July, the beginning of July. Well, prior to this, I was talking to my husband about that I wanted to help move him to Kansas. And my husband stepped in and was like, we don't have enough money for that. We don't have enough money for that. We don't have enough. And I'm like, and I finally, this is after I had started learning these concepts. I finally looked at him and I said, we have enough money for what we want to have enough money for. I want to have enough money to move my 18-year-old son to Kansas, and we are going to do that. And he was like, okay. Like, I said, so find the money because we're going. And about a few hours later, I believe it was, his boss actually called him and said, hey, what are your plans this summer? And I'm like, I didn't hear that part of it. I just heard him say, well, it sounds like we're going to be moving Jacob to Kansas, so I'm probably going to be gone a week. And guess what? We found the money to go to Kansas. And not just that, we go watch our son play now. We go to Kansas a lot and to go watch him play football. Why? Because that is something we want to have the money for. And so I really believe that we have enough money for all that we want and need. We just have to figure out what our priorities are, if that makes sense. So when I finally knew that deep down I had all the money that I wanted and needed, everything changed. I stopped chasing money and started attracting it. I made decisions from peace instead of panic. When you align your thoughts with truth and trust God as your source, you stop chasing money and start attracting it. Now that I have beautiful grass in my backyard, I need to take another picture to put it in there. So a few years ago, I told my husband I wanted to decorate our backyard and make it beautiful because I wanted a place for my grandkids to be able to play. And he said, there is no way. He's like, we had a dog prior to this, and the dog had dug a bunch of holes, especially right back here and through here. There were so many holes and things. And the dog had like destroyed our grass and stuff. Well, we didn't have a dog anymore, but we still had all the holes. And my husband was like, I can't get a tractor back there. We can't get a tractor back there to fix all the holes. There's no way. We're never going to be able to fix that backyard. And I said, no, we're going to be able to fix the backyard. And he's like, whatever, he would always be like, whatever, I'll believe it when I see it kind of thing. Well, a few months later, after I had set this goal, they were redoing our street, in front of our yard, in front of our house, and they were putting all the electrical under the ground. And so to do that, they were putting all the electrical in our houses too, like to our houses, so that they didn't have to do that. So they had to dig this big, huge trench that came up around this corner right here and all the way over here. And I can remember I walked out there going, gosh, they are making my yard worse. They are doing it worse. And I was all, I'm not going to talk to my husband about that because, but then I was like, no, I don't know how, but somehow I'm going to get my backyard. Like I would cancel out that. And then probably a week later, after they were all done back there, I walked out there, and not only did they level out where they dug the trench, they leveled clear to the fence and to the shed, and in this area too. They like leveled it completely flat all the way. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Like, and that was the worst part of the yard. And so when my husband came home, I'm like, honey, you are not going to believe this, but the city workers leveled our whole backyard back there. And he goes, what? Are you kidding me? And I said, no, I'm not. They leveled clear to the shed and clear to the fence and that whole mess that we had. And he goes, I got to go see this. So he walked outside and I walked outside with him, and he's like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe. And we know who the city guy that's head of all that was doing it. He goes, I cannot believe he did that. And I'm like, I can. And he goes, so tell me, what do you want in our backyard? How do you want it to look? And so I proceeded to tell him everything that I wanted. And he was like, okay, like no fight at all. Like that's all it took was for the city workers to level that out. And so I was so excited about that, we were able to get our backyard. And I'm still working on it, and I'll tell you a little more about that later, but my backyard is becoming like a sanctuary for my grandkids to play in, and it's so wonderful. So after 30 years of marriage and never buying or getting the things I wanted, I discovered the hard way. But because you're here today, you get to learn the easy way. So this is my patio furniture. And this was probably one of the greatest miracles since the dirt being married. And this was I wanted patio furniture out there so I could sit under this canopy. Well, one summer I said, I'm going to get my canopy. And I got this $800 canopy for $300 from Home Depot. They put it on sale. And then the patio furniture, and this just happened last summer. Last summer, I kept saying, I'm going to get patio furniture. And I was thinking I just wanted a couple of chairs, maybe a couch and a table, just so 2 or 3 people could sit. I was thinking it wouldn't be that big a deal. I just wanted that. And I kept saying, I'm going to get it in August when they put, when Walmart puts their stuff on sale. And so fast forward to August, we walked in this one Saturday and I said, honey, let's go look at the patio furniture. And the funny thing is he didn't tell me we can't, he stopped saying we can't afford it, because I've proved him over and over that we can. So he stopped saying we can't afford it. And I said, let's go look at the patio furniture. And so we walked back into the garden center. All the patio furniture was gone. And finally, in the middle of the room, after we had walked around a little bit, there was this one huge box. And the price above it was like $1,500. But it said on sale. And so, there was only one box there. And so we went to the guy and I said, well, how much is it on sale? And he goes, well, it's 75% off. And I said, I know that, but how much is it going to be? And he got his little gun and he scanned it, and it was $300. And I wanted to spend $300 to $500. And I looked at my husband and I said, so do you think I ought to get it? And he's all, yeah, you better. So we bought our patio furniture for $300, and it's 2 couches, a table, and an ottoman. And it fit perfectly under my canopy that I got the year before. So it's taken me a little time. And this year, well, I'll tell you that here in a minute, but so what I'm saying is there's a way. You can find a way. So I want to tell you about 3 secrets. Whether it's not having enough, being irresponsible, or losing it all, you'll stay stuck in the same pattern. You might think your money, well, first, let me tell you, secret number 1 is we need to establish a new mindset shift. So whether it's not having enough, being irresponsible, or losing it all, you'll stay stuck in the same patterns. The second one is, can you, oh, there we go. The second one is your money memory is still shaping you. So you might think that your money habits come from adulthood, but they actually began with an early memory. Third is identify your fear. It's running the show. So most people think they just need a better budget or an income, but the truth is your deepest fear about money is secretly driving every financial decision that you make. So let's talk about secret number 1, establishing a new mindset shift. You have to reframe your financial story. So a faith-based financial mindset shift that is rooted in Leslie Householder's rare faith principles. You can believe in abundance. If you believed in abundance, how would you react if you saw a money tree? Does this? Yeah. Well, how would you react if you saw a money tree?
I would be excited.
I would be surprised.
I'm surprised. Okay, we're just going to watch a little bit of this video. So these people decided to tie money to a tree and see what happened.
In my backyard, if you stand next to me, take the picture. It's from lips I already said. Can I have you caught up in what you said? I said you do. I said you do. I said you do. You were sex. Big shoot and start. Beats way across the city.
I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there. So what do you think about that?
The opportunity is right there. Just take $1. So many people weren't doing that thing.
But people don't believe it. So their belief system stops them. Most people just go by.
they didn't even, some of them didn't even look up. They didn't even notice it, right? In fact,
Right.
one guy walked by and the lady was like, "Hey, look over there. Look at, there's money in that tree." And he was like, "Oh," and he walked back over and took $1, you know. And
Sure.
then I liked the one where the guy, I don't know if he was doing it on purpose, but he came out of the store, grabbed $2 and walked back in. I'm like, maybe he wanted a coffee or something. I don't know. You know, so how aware are we, you know? And so something I've learned is success is completely in our control. And then write this down. When I have a choice, I choose to believe. If you want to cancel out any program in your head, that one can do it. You just say, I choose to believe. I'm choosing to believe that this is going to happen for me. So step 1, let go of fear, shame, and scarcity. That's the first thing that we need to do, is to let go of fear, shame, and scarcity. The second step is to rewrite your financial story. The third thing is to embrace true freedom through faith and alignment. Step 4, believe and trust in God. Another story that I want to tell you is when I was first starting to learn these things, um, I thought that still thought I needed a side hustle. And so, you know, I'm a school teacher and school teachers don't make very much money, but, you know, luckily my husband has a job too, so we do okay. But I still was thinking I needed a side hustle. And this was a few years ago when I first started learning this stuff. Leslie was first starting her sales team. And I thought, oh, like I love this stuff. I can tell people about it, you know, and see what happens and whatever. So I tried to join Leslie's sales team, and she told us to write a goal of how much money you want to make on her team. And so I said I wanted to make $2,000. And so I started doing everything that she was telling us to do and all of that stuff. And I did not make nothing. I did not make anything. But I wrote that goal thinking I want to make $2,000. And I'm not sure how I worded it exactly, but when I went to school that next Monday, that was like on a Saturday. On a Monday, when I went to school on the next Monday, we got an email from our superintendent that said, "Hey, um, the school board voted to give you guys um the school said, "Hey, the school board voted to give you guys all a $2,000 bonus from our COVID money." And I was like, I didn't need a side hustle at all. I just needed to put my goal out there, and the school came through with it. Like they gave me the $2,000. And so it came in a place, the money came from a source that I was not even expecting it to come from. And I mean, and that was lucky for us, you know, with the COVID nightmare, you know, how they gave schools a whole bunch of money. And our school decided to give us a portion of that money. So who does this work for? It can work for pretty much anyone, but my list is the midlife moms ready for financial freedom, women tired of surviving and ready to thrive, those carrying fear, guilt, and shame around money, believers who want a faith-based approach to abundance, women burnt out by hustle and ready for peace, anyone thinking, I should be further ahead by now, those ready to rewrite their financial story with purpose. So whether it's not having enough money or not having enough, being irresponsible, or losing it all, you won't stay stuck in the same patterns. We're going to help you shift and establish a new mindset shift. Secret number 2, your first money memory is still shaping you. And we feel shame around our past money decisions. So, oh wait, can you see the cabinet? Okay, there you go. I couldn't see it. So one of my first memories, my husband and I, we had been married a few years, and we had just moved into our new house, and I needed a cabinet to store some things in because the house that we were in did not have enough cabinets. And he, of course, said, "We don't have enough money. You're just going to have to make do with what we had," and basically living out of boxes and stuff because I didn't have enough space to put anything. And then one day he came home and he had purchased something that was about the price of the cabinet. And I was like, "How come you had money for that? And I didn't have money for the cabinet?" And he's like, "Well, I needed this more than you need that cabinet." And I'm like, "No, you don't." Anyways, little argument, little tiff. And so guess what I did? I got a credit card and I went out and bought my cabinet because I was mad at him. And he goes, "How did you pay for that?" And I said, "I got a credit card. If you can buy your thing, I have enough. I'm going to figure out how to get my cabinet." And then I paid for that cabinet for a long time. And it wasn't a lot of money. I think it was less than $200, but it's still, for us, it was a lot of money for me. And so I got my cabinet, but I also got the regret of having that bill to pay for, however long it took me to pay that. I don't even remember how long it took me to pay that. And so when I first started learning this and I wanted to remember my first money memory, I thought about what is my issues with money. And so I have bubble gum there because when I was young, we were in a store with my dad. I think I was like maybe 4. And I asked him if I could get a penny gum. It cost 1 penny. And he goes, "No, Lena, we don't have enough money for that. We need to get what we need to get, and we don't need to spend even a penny on gum." And I was like, "Oh," but for some reason in my head, I thought he said I could get it. So I took the gum and we walked out of the store, and somehow I dropped the gum, and he was like, "Lena, you just stole that gum. We got to take it back in there." So we took it back in. And so that was my first memory money of not having enough. We didn't even have enough to get a penny gum. And so that memory has shaped me, and we never have enough money. And I actually think of that every time I go to a Circle K now. I think of that memory money of we don't have enough money. But now I don't worry about that. Like, I don't think about that anymore. But I identified the belief that caused that created from that memory was I don't ever have enough money. So you think of your first memory money, you think of the belief that memory caused. And then you're going to acknowledge the emotion that is tied to the memory. And mine was embarrassment, regret that I took that. And once you decide what that your emotions don't heal by your emotions don't heal by ignoring them. They heal by being felt and let go. So another one of the emotions I felt was shame for what I had done. Then you're going to rewrite your story. What do you want to believe about money? Create words of affirmation to help rewrite that story. And then you say, I forgive myself for judging myself as one who never has enough money. So my next memory, so I did not even know that I had a money memory. And then when I realized it, that it was keeping me stuck. And then I had to forgive myself and I was able to move on. So forgive myself for judging myself as one who never has enough money. So just to recap, secret number 2, your first money memory is still shaping you. Remember what that memory is, identify the belief that created from that memory, and then acknowledge your emotions tied around that memory, and then rewrite your story. Secret number 3, identify your fear because it's running the show. I never seem to have enough money no matter how hard I work. So you're going to identify your greatest fear, and then you're going to challenge the scarcity pattern. Then you're going to reframe and align with abundance, strategize with inspired action. So, jackrabbit factor. The fear keeps you stuck. This is a quote from the Jackrabbit Factor. In the book, it talks about having a huge fear to get off the path and do something more with your life. What happens if you fell? When I read that, I realized if I don't try, I won't know. And if I don't know, I'm letting fear paralyze me. So what if? What if your greatest failure did happen? Or what if your greatest fear did happen? Contemplate that. So you're going to identify your greatest fear. I was afraid of not having enough money for what I wanted and needed. And then I'm going to challenge the scarcity pattern. Have I seen others succeed without hustle nonstop? Yeah, I've seen a lot of people hustle without nonstop. And I'm like, how did they learn how to do that? Where did that come from? And then I'm going to reframe, align with abundance. I am worthy of wealth that flows with ease. Money responds to belief, not just effort. So, can you see how important it is to align with abundance? Can you see how important that is? Do you think aligning with abundance would be important?
Yeah.
Okay. So does this kind of make sense? Is this making sense to you?
Yeah.
That we need to align with abundance. Okay. And then we're going to strategize with inspired action. Are your current actions aligned with abundance? Do you want to learn how to make your current actions aligned with abundance? Is that something you would like to learn?
Yeah.
Wouldn't
Definitely.
that be amazing if you were able to align with abundance? And wouldn't that be so exciting to be able to finally align with abundance and start seeing abundance in your life? So I have a son. This is my son, Dallin, and he is by far he is aligned with abundance. I don't know how he got aligned with abundance, but he was working on the farm with my husband. They all started working a little bit when they were 12. But by the time he was 16, he said, um, I there's an easier way to make money. I want to find an easier way to make money. I do not want to work this hard. You guys work way too hard. And so he became a lifeguard, and he also worked for Pizza Hut, but it was a lot easier for him than working on the farm, chopping weeds. That was not fun for him. He did not like that at all. And he made so much money doing that. And so he found an easier way to make money for him. And now he went to school to be kind of like a drafter. It's called CAD, but he's kind of a drafter. And he makes the most money of all my kids, which is crazy because he's like, I asked him once, I said, so how do you feel about money? And he's all, it's easy to make. And I'm like, I need to think that. I need to think money's easy to make. And so his mind is aligned with abundance. Where he learned that, I'm not sure. My husband is aligned with abundance a little more than I am, but we don't have enough money. Although he doesn't do that anymore. So if you followed these 3 simple frameworks, rewriting your money story, aligning your mindset, and taking inspired action, do you believe you could finally have the financial breakthrough you've been waiting for?
Yes.
Does all of this make sense
Yes.
to understand it?
Okay.
So, are you ready to get started?
Let's do it, Lena.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
So, three secrets of financial freedom. Establish a new mindset shift. Your first money memory is still shaping you. This is just a review. Identify your fears. It's running the show. Oh, they're above the dishwasher. Sorry. Okay. So let me ask you a question. What if this one shift in how you think about money could change everything for you and your family? Would you take the step?
Yep, I'm ready. Sign me up, Lena.
Okay. So let me tell you about my, would it be okay if I take a few minutes to show you how I can simplify these 3 steps and 3 more steps that you will learn in my class called the Faith and Finance Breakthrough?
Yep.
Would it be okay if I told you about this?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Okay, awesome. Because what I'm about to share with you could change everything for you and your family. We're going to go from overwhelmed to overflowing, how everyday people can finally win with money. This is where I help you implement the 6 ways to have your best financial year yet. Jumpstart your transformation with guided lessons and practical tools in the 6-week course. It is expert-led group discussion about the weekly study of your course materials. From overwhelmed to overflowing, we will take 1 week to study each of these points. And each of these points is writing a letter to money, reflect on your earliest money memory, identify your greatest financial fear, contemplate the reality of your fear, explore the connection between money and fear, and then establish a new financial mindset. So here's what you're going to get when you invest in yourself today. You get the 6-week course, the Faith and Finance Breakthrough Package, that goes along with Leslie's Jumpstart Your Success curriculum. It provides a deep dive into the principles found in her 3 books. The purpose of our program is to help you learn how to establish goals, overcome obstacles, and achieve your highest potential using what we call rare faith. Along with that, along with Leslie's, we have a journal that goes with this, and it'll teach you how to break free from your money sabotage that you've been having your whole entire life. So for years, I tried everything, tight budgets, side hustles, cutting back, but no matter what, I still felt like there was never enough. It wasn't until I discovered a new way, a faith-based mindset rooted in rare faith principles, that things finally changed. So what you'll be able to do is break free from limiting beliefs, boost your confidence, ease financial stress, activate lasting change, stop stressing over every dollar, let go of guilt and scarcity, and start making confident, peaceful decisions with money. What you're going to be able to replace is constant worry about money, hustling harder to deserve abundance, guilt and shame from past financial choices, scarcity mindset, it's never enough, disconnected budgeting, overwhelm and burnout. Now I want to tell you about the playground that I'm going to get this summer. And it was so funny. You know, my husband for years says, we don't have enough money. We don't have enough money. So this last March, we walked into Costco. I want to get the Costco playground set for my grandkids in my backyard. And we walked into Costco and I said, hey, let's go look at that playground and see, just see what it's going to take and all of that. And he goes, okay, let's go look at it. And so we walked around and both got really excited about doing that. And so, oh, that's fun. That's fun, Diana, that you wanted to get a playground too. So perfect. Perfect. And so it was just so funny for him to say, okay, let's go take a look at it. And he didn't say we don't have enough money, it's too expensive. He just said, okay, let's go get it, you know? And so I just thought that mindset shift from him was so crazy. And so I was telling my grandson about this, and he's like, oh, let's look at it, Grandma. So he started like shopping with me online to find the perfect playground for them to play with. And he's so excited about it. So that's like a big shift for us, you know. And so now when I want to buy something, him and I make that decision together of what we want to do. So these are things I no longer have to worry about: budget planning, money apps or tracking systems, therapy or coaching to deal with financial anxiety, business tools or side hustles, credit card interest or overdraft fees, impulse buys or emotional spending. So what you're going to get, you'll get my Faith and Finance Breakthrough package. The Faith and Finance Breakthrough package 6-week course is valued at $2,997. But what else you're going to need to make sure you have success is the extended mindset quotient test. So you've heard of the IQ, the intelligence test, and the EQ, the emotional quotient test. Well, finally, there's a mindset quotient test. We call it the MQ test that measures how well you understand and apply time-tested success principles. This is extended. It's a 50-question test that goes in depth into what you're wanting to learn about how well your heart and your mind work. This is a test that will tell you what level you're at and what level you need to be at. I started down here on the Achiever Century when I first started with Leslie's stuff. I was a person that thought I had a good mindset, but realized I did not know what I was what I was doing. Like I thought I had a good mindset, but I also was like, I thought I could do everything. I thought I was a person that had to do everything. And then I realized that I was not. I wanted to go up this path. I wanted to become a little bit better in my mindset. And I became an achiever, or I became an exemplar optimist. And then I became a vessel sage, which is here. But really what I've learned about the mindset test is sometimes when I'm driving, I might be a defender realist, which is way down here. So really we're all over this mindset. But what I love about the mindset test is that it gives you an idea of what is keeping you from reaching your goals. So that is going to be something that you need to get really clear about where you currently are with your money and your mindset, and see how well they're working together to help support the life and goals you truly want. So the mindset quotient test. You're probably thinking, if this test does all that, that's probably really expensive, right? Do you think it's probably really expensive if that's what it does? So along with my 6 weeks course, you're going to get the extended mindset quotient test that is valued at $127 for a total of $3,124. So what else do you think you need to ensure that you're successful? You're going to get an hour-long mastermind with me, where we will talk about your goals, we'll talk about your mindset, and we'll build up some strategies to help ensure your success in finding what your problems with money are. So on this call, I guess I already said that. The results, you'll need to get on a mastermind call to learn more about your results and decide where you want to go from here. On this call, we discuss the MQ test, where you have been to this point with your money, your goals and dreams regarding your finances, all the things that you have tried that have worked and things that have not worked. Your specific questions and concerns, we'll talk about all of those, your questions and your concerns, and much more. So to add that, a mastermind with Lena is $297 value for a total of $3,421. The next thing that I want to give you is 2 months of our weekly forum. And this is a forum that, this weekly forum is a guided expert discussion that delivers practical tips each week to help you reach your goals and apply rare faith principles in your everyday life, so you can experience greater success in every area. The other thing on that list was you'll get 15% off of a live Genius boot camp. One of the most powerful tools that helped me and hundreds of others seeking to up-level their mindset was the Genius boot camp. It's based on the premises that a solution to every problem is only an idea away. Genius Bootcamp helps you tap into those idea sparks that can transform your life forever. The immersion version provides a deep dive into the concepts for a more comprehensive study and longer-term impact, while the original bootcamp covers all of the topics in 3 days. And then you'll get access to 2 months of the immersion version, with 24 online units provided a deep dive into the concepts for a more comprehensive study and long-term impact. So the way I look at it, the Genius Bootcamp, it saved me millions of dollars. And in fact, it taught me some valuable tools to create a program to teach teachers how to love being a good teacher. And so it saved me $1 million, but it also helped me create a program to start making money in doing what I wanted to do in teaching teachers how to be a teacher. So what you're going to get, you'll get my 6-week course, and I'm not sure why that pops up at the bottom there. You'll get the extended mindset quotient test, mastermind with me, and then 2 months of the weekly forum, plus 15% off a live Genius boot camp that is valued at $465 for a total value of $3,877. And then the last thing that I want to make available to you is my top 8 things. Leadership and Self-Deception. These are books that actually changed my life. leadership and self-deception, anatomy of peace, the science of receiving, growth and mindset. So the science of receiving, I can send to you when you join. Growth and money mindset sheets, and then a list of some of my favorite podcasts that help change and reframe my mindset and my life, and a few more things. So what you're going to get: my class, mindset quote and test, mastermind with me, a curated library of books, podcasts, and info sheets, 2 months of the forum, plus 15% off a Live Genius Bootcamp. This is all totaled at $4,694. So if this program, if all it did was finally help you start recognizing some of your old programs that have been keeping you stuck, would it be worth it?
Yes.
If all it did was help you start to form new programs in your mind that naturally and predictably lead to the results you've been seeking, would it be worth it?
Yes.
Yes.
If all it did was give you more confidence, motivation, and excitement about your money journey, would it be worth it?
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
That's what you're here for. Perfect. Then you're in the right place. So I had two choices. I could keep believing in my old story that I'll never have enough time, money, or energy, no matter how hard I try, or I could choose to believe something new, that I could shift my mindset, align with faith-based principles, and create a life that reflects what I actually want. What would it be worth to you to finally feel peace around money, confidence in the future? What if you could finally trust yourself with money? How much would you pay to release the fear and the guilt? How much would you pay for that? What has it been costing you to be in your current money conditions? Just think about that. What is it costing you to stay exactly the same? What if you continue at your current trajectory? Are you ready to shift your money mindset and step into abundance that's waiting for you? Do you see why it's a good deal at $4,694? Because you joined me on this call today, you can get started now for just $597. The 6-week course starts on June 10th and it's 6 p.m. Pacific time. So what you need to do right now, anything that is worthwhile will require a sacrifice. Now you have two choices. First option is do nothing and keep running the same programs about your money that keep producing the same results. Or second option is learn how to change your mindset to change your life. There is a 30-day money-back guarantee, risk-free commitment. We're confident that the Faith and Finance Breakthrough Package Mindset course will transform the way you think about money, spending, and abundance. That's why we offer a full 30-day money-back guarantee. If for any reason you're not completely satisfied with the course within the first 30 days of enrollment, simply contact us and we'll refund your full investment. No questions asked, no hard feelings. We want you to feel secure in your decision and fully commit to your journey without risk. So the real question is, what do you have to lose? So again, what you're going to get: the Faith and Finance Breakthrough Package 6-week course, the extended mindset quote and test, a mastermind with me, 2 months of the weekly forum, 15% off the Live Genius Bootcamp. A curated library of books, podcasts, and info sheets. And you'll get this video replay. Unless I make a better one later. Then you'll get that one. For a total value of $4,694. And what you'd need to do right now to get started is just $597 today. And for the first, so there's 2 people on here. So for the first one of you that wants to sign up, you will get a $100 discount.
Woo.
So if
Go
you're
ahead,
ready,
Diana.
Oh, I decided before this I'm signing up, so. It's all good.
she was at our Live Genius boot camp, but here is the QR code for the class if you have decided. If you need to visit with me later about it, ways that that the money can come in, I would be happy. I think, Linda, we already have a call tomorrow at 1, so we can discuss this a little more if you want to.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. And Diana, if you want to talk about what we talked about, Genius Boot Camp, we can talk about that too.
Okay, sounds good.
But thank you both for coming. I am excited. Every time I do this, I feel a little more confident in it. So
It was
It's
great. Thank you very much.
It's good.
Yes.
it's
Yes,
been a
it-
good practice. So, but yeah, Linda, I'll call you tomorrow at 1. And Diana, do you want to talk after this or?
Yeah, so we can just stay on for a minute if you want.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Let me
Okay,
stop
thanks.
sharing my screen.
Thanks, Lena.
Yep. Thank you, Linda. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Let me stop recording. We don't need to